It's a happy day here on my genealogy road trip. I hope that you're having a good day, a good evening, or a good morning wherever you may be. Welcome to my genealogy experiment. My name is Michelle Anderson. As always, you're probably going to hear my dogs. Sometimes when I play this back, I can hear them, and then other times I can't, so I'm really not sure what we will get today. This week, we're going to talk about my master ancestor computer files, free genealogy websites, and how I feel that my podcasts and social media are doing, along with the photos from my blogs. So let's get going. I was wondering if you might want me to write out the instructions for how to make a master ancestor list and post them on my website, because it can be a little confusing. I have a screenshot of my files, my computer files, and I'm going to show you Charles Weber, as I just worked on his file a couple weeks ago. His father is John Weber, and he is number 44 on my master ancestor list, and his mother, Emma, is number 45. In John's folder on my computer, I have folders for each of the children, and I have them labeled this way. 44-1 is Emma, their daughter. 44-3 is John, their son. 44-4 is Charles. And 44-5 is Estella. Now, you may have noticed that I skipped 44-2. That is because the second born child is Albert Andrew Weber, and he is my husband's great-grandfather. So he has his own number at number 22. In some cases where a husband or wife has remarried, I place a folder in their file for their new spouse. Made a folder in his file and titled it 44-A with his new spouse's name. Now, my Aunt Kay is the person who taught me this way of numbering ancestors, and I have just taken this and made it work for me digitally. So thank you, Aunt Kay, very much, because you have made me so much more organized. This has totally changed how I keep my records, and I owe so much to you. So thank you, Auntie Kay. The last several weeks, I have bemoaned the fact that I have been paying for genealogy information. So I thought I'd bring you some free places that you may be able to find the same information. We're going to start with a website called Family Search. You can search for many of the same historical records that you can find on the other pay family tree sites, but for free. You can also volunteer to help index the information. For me, Family Search can be hit or miss. I will sometimes not be able to find documents as easily, and it takes a lot longer to search for them, because I have found that it might just be as simple fact as just looking based on the person's initials. So instead of Charles, I'm looking for C. Weber in Jackson, Michigan, and then the information will pop up. But it's a lot harder for me on Family Search. It always has been, and I don't know why. But you can access this site at www.familysearch.org. Now, my next site that I'm going to share is one of my favorites, and it's called Find a Grave. I know it's a little morbid, but they have not only internet site, but they also have an app, and the app is pretty amazing. Through the app, you can make virtual cemeteries to place ancestors in when you locate their grave information. Currently, I have 16 virtual cemeteries, and I just made one yesterday. I have made them family specific. So instead of grouping everything together, I group them by names. So it's easier to find the person when I'm looking for them. And many times on Find a Grave, you can find obituaries, photos, other family members, and sometimes information. Like I found biographies written out, that somebody had written out an actual biography on this person that I was looking for. You can locate Find a Grave at www.findagrave.com. Now, the last site that I bring to you today is the National Archives. You might not know this, but the National Archives houses so much of our history. It is available online, and through the online site, you can find census records, military service records, immigration records, naturalization records, and so much more. They offer genealogy webinars, and you can help transcribe records for them. They also offer services such as scanning your records, or you can order paper copies of the records that they have digitally on file. The National Archives is located in Washington, D.C., but I believe they have a warehouse location in St. Louis. I don't think you can go to St. Louis and request records, but that's where you send your request, and they'll give you copies of your anything that you request. I think it comes from St. Louis. I would really love to go to Washington, D.C. someday and see if I can find anything new about my family, or just get paper records of those things that I've only had digitally. You can locate the National Archives at www.archives.gov. I have more free websites to bring you in the upcoming weeks, so stay tuned, and it could save you bunches. I cannot believe that it's already February and I have completed, this will be my 5th podcast. I have learned so much in the last 6 weeks. I am very happy being on YouTube to house my podcast. I have realized that since I'm using YouTube, I can upload the family photos of the people that I'm talking about, or other photos. So when I'm talking to you about, let's say, Find a Grave, I can put that information up there for you to see. I really like doing this and hope you've watched one of my podcasts through YouTube. So far, doing the podcast has motivated me to not only get my family page postings completed in a timely manner, but also pushing things out there into social media. If you know me, you know I am not a social media person. I am very rarely on Facebook. But this week, I sent out invitations to my family members who hadn't liked my new Facebook page yet, and I have 26 followers now. Yay me! So if you haven't followed my Facebook page, go to M. Anderson Genealogy. My little icon, my little drawn icon is up there, and please follow. I am really trying to have just one site where I can post everything. It makes it so much easier for me, and I would love to have you follow me there. Now, over on Instagram, I only have 9 followers there, but hey, they may be single digits, but they are very mighty in their likes. So, I think it's time to talk about the family postings. So, let's start with the Jordans and the Birds. Today, I bring to you a death notice for George Frederick Schoenbeck. Now, sometimes you may find when you're looking through family papers that you come across things that you did not think you were going to see. The first time I saw this, all I could think of was, who in the world is George Schoenbeck? Who was George Schoenbeck? And how do I find him? Well, I'm very happy that I can tell you exactly who he was. George was born on December 21st in 1885 to Johanna G. Wenke and Richard Schombeck. He is the grandson of our Johann Winke and Katharina Munderloh. So his mother, Johanna, and my great-great-grandfather, George D. Winke, were brother and sister. So this meant that George Schombeck and his siblings were cousins to our Anna Winke Bird and John Winke and Rena Armfield. Now, George married Ethel Lovilla Power on June 10th, 1913, and they had 2 sons, Frederick, who was born in 1914, and Richard, who was born in 1916. Ethel and George led very exciting lives. Well, at least to me, they were exciting lives because they were archaeologists. So maybe they didn't go to exciting places like Egypt or South America, but there was plenty to keep them busy right there in Illinois. For most of their lives, the Schombecks lived in Peoria. That made their particular field of study the Peoria area and neighboring counties. They collected thousands of potsherds, arrowheads, stone and copper axes, beads, pipes, all sorts of prehistoric tools, and they carefully recorded where they were found. The site that they mainly did all their research in is now known archaeologically, say that fast, as the Clear Lake Village on the Illinois River. They got most of the material that they found from this site. Their findings represent many of the known prehistoric Indian cultures in Illinois. Little would be known of this Aboriginal Indian village of Clear Lake if it had not been for the perseverance of the Schomebecks. To tell you how much that they found it's just so insane when you hear that they recovered 24,000 pottery shards. 24,000. It represents every potter type that's found that you can find in Illinois. Now, the Illinois State Museum received all of their artifacts that they recovered, and Clear Lake has been added to the National Register of Historic Places, which I think is really cool. Other sites that they explored are Steuben Village near Peoria and the Sisters Creek site in Fulton County. Now that tells you who George Schombeck was. Let's talk about how he died. According to the Peoria Journal-Star's morning edition, because keep in mind back then they had a morning edition and an evening edition. So this is the morning edition the day after George died. They reported that he suffered from a heart attack and was found dead in his son's driveway on December 14th, 1955 by the mailman. George's son, I believe it was Richard, and his family were in Chicago. They were going there before Christmas just to relax for a little bit and take in the sights. And they think that George was going over there to take care of some things, maybe feed some animals, and he had the heart attack and died in the driveway. And after I found out all the wonderful and amazing things that he and Ethel had done in their lives, I was really let down by this article because I did not feel that it did justice to honoring his memory. And I really wanted to find a photo of him, but I keep coming up very empty-handed in that regard. I have found several of Ethel, but none of George. So I don't know if he just didn't like his photo taken and didn't allow them to be taken, or I don't know. But anyway, this is why it's really important to put names on all your photographs. When I first started thinking about writing about George's death, I thought, okay, well, maybe I can talk about the other deaths on this newspaper page. There's one up in the right corner, a Reverend Brown, who is 85 years old, who passed away. Or maybe how George died. But once I looked back on his life, for me, it just became so much more. His work in bringing to light the Aboriginal history of the general Peoria region and all of the important artifacts he either found himself or assisted in finding was a great gift and a value to the people of Peoria and Illinois. Thank you, George, for all you did to bring knowledge about the past to us. Over on the Miller Garden page, I have a couple of people that I don't know who they are. But for some reason, I really love this photograph. From the top to the bottom, I find that there's much to look at. Standing in front of a residence are a male and a female. I don't know if they're married, as I can't tell from her hand if there's a wedding band. But since they aren't standing like many couples do, holding hands or one arm around the other, I think that they might not be husband and wife, but again, who knows? From her hands, my eye goes up to the neckline of her dress. It is a very simple, demure, wide-collared dress, and it looks like if she has a pin there, a brooch or a pin right there at the neck where the collars meet. And even though it's a simple dress, to me, it seems very pretty. The skirt is an A-line cut, and it's just very flattering on her. From the skirt of the dress, my eye is then drawn down to her shoes. Now, the outfit as a whole and her hairstyle leads me to think that it might be the mid to late 1930s that this photograph was taken. Standing next to her is a dashing figure indeed. Don't men have it so easy? All they need is a suit and a tie, and they're good to go. His smile shows a hint of dimples, and to me it appears begrudgingly given. Her smile, though, seems very genuine and playful, someone you'd want to sit down and talk to. They're standing on a really nice brick path, and that is made in a herringbone pattern. It is very beautiful in the photograph. Whoever laid down the bricks was a true artist. I find myself wondering what color their house was, because it's dark. It's such a dark, I just really like the contrast between the siding on the windows and the trim. You can just see something there in the window. I think they're cans, like tin cans, and maybe they're growing seedlings, but it's really hard to tell. Now, when this photo first seemed full of unknown things to me, I'm really glad that we have it. I wonder if they're related to us or we're just friends of Kermit and Eunice. So I'm going to get on my little TED Talk box and I'm going to tell you, photos like this are the reason why it is so important to put names on the photos. I'm really sad that their names are lost to us forever, but I am glad that they can live on for us in this photo. Now, lastly, over on the 6 Degrees of Anderson page, I bring to you mother and son, June and Dick Anderson. For some reason, I really love photos of June and Dick, especially when he's a child. To me, there is something so unique in how they are together. I'm not sure where the photo might have been taken, as there was nothing on the back stating location. But there's still lots for us to look at. So let's start with Dick. So I think that this photo is, Dick is probably a toddler. So that means it'd be about 1941, probably spring. And for some reason, I think he looks like a little star. I don't think it's all one outfit, but that it's several different items. So I think his base layer is comprised of a one-piece combo romper style thing, pants and shirts all in one type of a deal. And over that, at first I thought it's a jacket, but maybe it's a sweater. And I say that because of the cuffs and how it drapes on his arms. And I also thought the hood was attached, but I now think that maybe the hat is separate from the jacket. And why are baby shoes so cute? They just complete his outfit. And he looks ready to take a walk or run around the playground. Now, June, she will always be the very essence of style and grace to me. Her outfit is just so simple that you could wear it today and not be out of place. From her white shirt and dark skirt and then her open-toed shoes, she is ready to hit the town with her kid and wear him out so that he will take a good nap. Now, in the second picture, we have a better look at Dick's cute outfit. Look how pointed his hat is. It's so cute. June certainly has her hands full keeping him in her arms. He looks like he will be taking off running the minute he's put down. And from this view, you can tell that Dick's shoes are a softer-soled, moccasin-like style footwear. Now, the good old Kansas wind seems to be blowing them around, and I'm not sure, but based on June's short sleeves, so this must have been taken during the spring. I sure do miss their smiles and their laughter and all the fun times that we had with them. And I'm so very thankful that I'm assuming Howard took this picture, but I am very thankful that he took it for us to remember them by. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope that you have enjoyed listening as much as I have enjoyed making this podcast. Please make sure that you're subscribed on YouTube and on this page. Feel free to share this with anyone you know that might enjoy today's topics. Join me each week as I discuss the photos I've posted on the family pages and other things as well. We shall see where this genealogy road takes us. My name is Michelle Anderson. Thank you for listening. I am a link to the past and a bridge to the future. Have a great day.